Welcome to another episode of Budget Drift Build 240. I wanted to say thank you for all the views on the last videos and the likes and new subscribers. I really appreciate it. Kind of keeps me wanting to do this. I was scared to start at first because it's a lot of work, but just seeing you guys subscribe and like the video kind of makes me want to keep going, so I appreciate that. Today we're going to be knocking out the motor mounts. We're going to be putting the radiator back in, and we're going to try to get the exhaust back on and hopefully get a crank out of this thing that we haven't seen in a while. Got a lot of work to do, but it shouldn't be too difficult overall. Hardest part is going to be lifting the engine up to get the new motor mounts in. I have a friend coming over, his name's CJ. He has a sick BRZ wide body that's boosted and everything, so hopefully I can show you guys his car as well. But he's headed over to help, and it should be a fun time. Let's go ahead and get started. First thing I need to do is take off this oil filter that's in the way of the motor mount, which kind of sucks because that's brand new and I just put that on there, but I'm just gonna reuse it obviously. So that will give us access to that engine mount there. And then on this side, pretty much wide open access right here, so that one's gonna be pretty easy. So I'm gonna get started on that and just wait for CJ to arrive. No idea how that got so tight on there because I hand tightened it when I put it on, but I had to use these. So unfortunately this is all dented. I'm gonna have to buy a new one. That sucks, that's like $6 down the drain, but whatever. All right, so now as you can see, access to that bottom engine mount is pretty good now. So now I just need to get underneath the car and see where those nuts are to take them off. Hopefully this will be an easy job. Those definitely need to be replaced, they look pretty bad. So this is actually my sister's old gymnast mat, but it works perfect to lay on the floor instead of laying on the concrete. It makes the job a lot easier. All right, so the bolt that we're getting to for the bottom of the motor mount, I'm gonna show you where it's at. This bolt right here is the one that you're gonna need to take out to release the bottom of the engine mounts. So that's what I'm gonna work on now. It looks like it's a 15. I think you're gonna have to use a deep well socket, preferably a 6-point if you had it. That was actually pretty easy. So it's off now, and we just gotta do the other side. So I'm not sure why, but this nut actually seems to be a different size than the other one was. This one's a 14, the other one was a 15, so it looks like maybe somebody replaced this at some time. You definitely don't want to strip anything out, so you want to make sure it's on there really good. So I'm just gonna tap it because I don't see it at the base yet. All right, it's out. Luckily the new engine mounts come with all new hardware, so we'll need to mess with all this old stuff. Just realized that I have to take off these top bolts too. So that one there I'm gonna work on, and then same thing on the other side. Should be the same size, either 14 or 15. So I kid you not, this thing was hand tight. I literally didn't even do anything, and I could take it off by hand. Let me show you. I haven't hit this with anything at all, and I could take this off with my hand. That's probably where all this vibration was coming from. Let me just take this out then. That makes the job a little easier. All right, I don't know where that fell, but we don't need it anyways. So same thing just happened on this side. The other side was a 15. This side is a 14. I'm not sure who put these in before, but they mixed up everything, it seems like. All right. I'm realizing with this car that my tool collection is pretty weak. I need to get the ratcheting wrenches because that'll make the job a lot easier. And I don't have like any 6-point sockets. And on old cars, you don't want to strip anything out. So 6-point sockets are very important. I just remembered I could do one more thing before CJ gets here, and that's put the throttle body back on. So I had to buy a new gasket for it because the old one was kind of dry and just cracked when I took it off. So I'm gonna put the throttle body back on now, and hopefully he'll be here by the time I finish, and we can put these mounts in. Should be pretty easy to do this, only 4 of these Allen head bolts right here. All right, so my boy CJ just showed up. He's gonna help me on the car.
What's up?
Eating his Zaxby's, of course, but I'll show you his car later on. He's got the wide body BRZ. that's boosted too, so it's a sick car. We'll show you it later on once we get some work done on here. So we're gonna finish on the throttle body and try to get this car started tonight. Yeah.
I just gotta figure out what car I want to like do it.
All right, so we got the throttle body back on. Everything is nice and tight. Shouldn't have any leaks. So now it's time to get the motor mounts out. All we need to do is jack up the engine. So we're gonna jack it up from the oil pan with a piece of wood on top of the jack so we don't mess anything up. Hopefully we can get it up high enough to slide the old mounts out. Huh?
What's that mount on the actual jack?
Oh, that's like a piece of rubber.
Uh-oh.
Damn, it looks like it's moving a lot.
Yeah, it's moving.
We good?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah, keep moving.
All right, so this one's out. Now we just need to work on the other side. CJ has a technique for it, so we're gonna do it. So this one's almost out. We just have to kind of tilt the engine that way, try to reposition it. Shouldn't be too tough, but we'll see. All right, so we're getting this one out now. All right, success. All right, so let me show you guys the difference between the old ones and the new ones. These are the old ones, so it's like all rubber. Definitely gonna flex a lot. They're probably already worn out and bad. Actually, this is like missing some rubber, so this is definitely bad. These are the new ones, it's like solid aluminum. So it's definitely gonna have that race car feel, a lot of noise, a lot of harshness, but that's what we want for drifting. So it should make the engine a lot more solid. So I'm gonna put the bolt from the bottom. Try to get this on there. Let's do the other side. And then we can let the jack down barely and try to just put the nut on there to start it. All right. I'm gonna just go down a little bit. Go ahead. All right, you can stop. Seems like I can still keep going, so. Okay, I'm gonna go again. That's good. All right, so we got the right side done. We're gonna move on to the passenger side now. Can you ratchet from where you are?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll hold. All right, so we got the passenger side in. Let me zoom in and show you guys. I'm gonna put the link in the description to where you can get these. Just for both the motor mount and the transmission mount, it was like $65 shipped. So far, the quality looks really nice. All right, so next up, we're gonna do the radiator hoses. And then we'll probably put the exhaust on and then maybe the intake. All right. Perfect. All right, operator hose is done. Okay. Dang, these look good. These were $26 shipped. This was like the FRS would be like 50 or 60, probably more.
Yeah, definitely more.
So we finished the coolant hoses. We got the upper hose on and we got the lower hose on. They look really clean. I'm liking everything being black, just looking OEM. We're probably gonna do the intake next because that'd probably be the easiest thing. So the issue we're running into now is somebody broke off a bolt in this hole right here, so I gotta drill this out in order to mount the intake to it. That was pretty easy. Pretty solid. So we're gonna just drill a hole through this so that it'll look pretty nice. This is the best way to secure it that we try to figure out. So we're gonna drill a hole, use this, and then this is just gonna be attached just like that, so it'll look perfect. That's perfect, look at that. This is the new header here we're about to put on. This was like $95 shipped. You're gonna need a couple things. If you remove the emissions control system, you're gonna need to plug this off, even on your regular manifold. This is the Nissan part number that you need. It's like $11 on eBay. So that's gonna plug in here. Got a brand new O2 sensor. This was like $9 and it's an NGK. You just gotta make sure it has the correct plug for the 240. So I'm gonna put that on and then we'll throw this header on real quick. All right, we're gonna put the new O2 sensor in. I'm gonna put a link to the O2 sensor too, because usually they're like $30, but this one was only $9. And it's an NGK.
Oh, my bad.
Very good. Okay, we're trying to figure out how to get these long tube headers in. The design on these is a little bit different. The bottom part is not bolt on, it's welded on, so it's all one piece, which makes it a little bit more difficult. You see how to disconnect the steering linkage. And it looks like we're getting it. Need me to lift it from the bottom? Yeah? This is looking so good. We got the intake on, we got the exhaust, we just gotta bolt this up. This is the eBay ISR replica. So it was like 90, no, it was 107 shipped if I remember right. So I'll link that too. But like I said, it's a one-piece design, so it's harder to get in. You're gonna have to disconnect the steering linkage and move that out the way in order to get that thing on. All right, so before we finish buttoning this up, I wanna show you guys CJ's car before he leaves, but as you can see, all we gotta do is just tighten up these bolts real quick, and then the exhaust will pretty much be done. Car is definitely coming along, made a lot of progress tonight. Let's show you guys CJ's car. Check out this wide body boosted BRZ. This thing is so clean. Oh, you're good. You can't even see nothing at night. This cell phone light's working pretty good.
I feel like a little push block on this.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks cleaner. He painted this himself at his house, and it came out so good. And it was his first time doing a paint job too. What kit did you say you had again?
JDL.
He's got the JDL turbo kit with the red accents looking good. So you guys will definitely see him around again. Follow him on Instagram, here's his username. But you'll see some updates on this build too. All right, CJ, appreciate the help. All right, I'm gonna finish tightening up these header bolts real quick, and then I'm calling it a night. I haven't eaten dinner yet, and it's already like 11:30, and I'm starving. Hope you guys like the video so far. I didn't expect to get this much done. Hopefully tomorrow we can get the first crank in. Haven't heard this thing run in a couple weeks, so I'd love to see that happen. All right, guys, I'm so hungry that I can't think right now, so I'm just gonna call it quits for tonight. Got a lot done. Let me just review what we did so far. So tonight we finished putting on the exhaust. We installed the intake, installed the radiator hoses, installed the motor mounts, and I think that's it. So tomorrow we're gonna pick up with continuing to tighten down the header, try to get the rest of the exhaust put on, and fill the radiator with radiator fluid, and hopefully get the first start we've heard in a couple weeks. I'm super excited. I can't wait to get this thing done. But in closing, I just want to say thank you guys for all the likes on the videos. Thank you guys for subscribing. Can't wait to start drifting this thing. I'll see you guys in the next video.